Let me tell the truth, I hate this life. They be telling me what I gotta do all the time, like I gotta do this and I gotta do that. But what I get back, nothing back. That's right, more work and less free time. Telling me to do another paper, telling me to stay later, telling me like a dictator. But it's all good, I know it helps. One day living all by myself, I'ma thank the world, I'ma thank the people trying to make me better than a prequel. Like I wanted more, but I could've had less. I'm foolish, trapped in the music, never understood how limited school is. Cause I'm blessed and I'm acting clueless, stacking J's when I could've been shoeless. Yeah, it all makes sense and I could've been homeless. No crib but the rest pays rent with a place to stay. And when you getting pennies, you be throwing them away. But some people on their knees begging every single day. So I tell myself, the way you living is a good life. Yeah, you gotta think about the good times. Yeah, the way you living is a good.
What's going on, fellas? Mad Doctor back again here, bringing you another scheme out of the Pittsburgh Steelers playbook. One of my last two schemes was out of the Pittsburgh Steelers playbook, the tight doubles formation. It's a great scheme. I really want to use the Steelers playbook in MUT, so I decided to bring you more heat out of the Steelers playbook. This one is the single back wing slot formation, fellas, and it is deadly. I got about 5 or 6 plays here, so I hope you enjoy it. So the first play I'm going to break down, fellas, is the PA Y-cross flood, and the only real mandatory adjustment is to block R1. I also figured out if you move square in and get him right to the line, he becomes an extra blocker. So if you're really just trying to shred him downfield and you need an extra blocker, he does a great job of picking up the extra heat off the edge. I'll show you here. I motion Jeffrey in, and he does a great job of picking up the dollar blitz. That really comes in handy if you run into an opponent running a lot of dollar blitzes or zone blitzes in general. Just got to make sure when you snap it that he's close enough to the line of scrimmage. That way he turns into a blocker. If you snap it closer to the circle receiver right there, he will continue on his route. But real quick, let me show you a little game hack I figured out. If you change your primary receiver, which is really for target passing, but if you hit R2 and change your primary receiver to the guy that you know you're going to want to motion, then when you hit circle, he's the first guy that your cursor will toggle to. So if you know you're going to motion him, it's just a little game hack to save you cycling 4 or 5 times through all of the players on offense. Change him to your primary receiver and it changes right to him. Alright, so first I'm just going to go over beating regular old cover 2 just by blocking R1. That's the only adjustment, and then motioning square in. Circle's going to get wide open over the top. Don't worry, I'll break down the deep blue middle linebacker here in a second. But if he's staying in regular cover 2, just block R1. Motion square in, but not so far where he doesn't go on his route. You want him to continue on his route, and then circle gets wide open over the top. Another great way to beat cover 2 is just putting square on an out route and then doing the same motion. You can leave the play action I show here. But I find it better actually to block your running back and to block R1. Just gives you so much more protection. So block your running back, block R1, put square on an out route, move him in. You can hit him on the little out route, but it's better to wait for Gilmore, the corner, to pay attention to him, and X gets butt naked wide open to the left deep side of the field. Now I had a sub request to show how to beat the deep blue middle linebacker Tampa 2, and I know it's very popular to run it this way. The absolute best way to do it is to run the ball, fellas. Think about it. If he puts that little middle linebacker into a deep blue, he literally has one person left in the box, and that's the guy I showed right there with the ID, the mic. And that's actually what you want to do, is you want to ID the linebacker that he's not putting in the deep blue, because he's the last guy you have left to beat. The halfback zone weak is great for shredding cover 2 with the deep blue. Alright, so another way to beat cover 2 with the deep blue middle linebacker in the middle of the field is simply to block your running back and curl R1, and then drag square and send him on the same motion. With the deep blue in the middle of the field, he's only going to have one user. R1's going to sit down in the middle of the field wide open. If he decides to use your R1, then you have square on the regular old drag route, or you can even playmaker him since he's the closest receiver, and that just sets up for some really nasty separation. So just flick up on the right stick when he's right in the middle of the field and he cuts upfield. There's no way he'll be able to use her R1 and square on the drag route. So it just sets up for great separation and a headache for your opponent. Also keep in mind, you can beat cover 2 with the deep blue in the middle of the field the same way as the first way by putting square on an out route and motioning him in, and X will still get wide open because the deep blue doesn't even come into play. Another great play to beat this cover 2 scheme is a PAY drag, fellas. All you have to do is put circle on a fade route and motion him to the left. Wait till he gets right about to the numbers, hike the ball. R1 gets wide open against anything but a cover 2 hard flat. So if he's in a regular cover 2, if he's in a cover 3, cover 4, R1's going to get wide open to the flat, and then if he does put a hard flat on the field, that's where the fade route comes into play, and he's going to get wide open over the top. Wait for him to come down for R1 and hit him, just lead pass him a little bit outside. Just like this, fellas, it shreds. And then you also have the drag route coming underneath in the triangle route on a little curl, so there's a lot of separation here. Then if he decides to go into cover 3, that's when this square route comes into play, or you could take X on the drag, but I like to give it an extra second and wait for square to come over the top. If he decides to use your square, guess what? You're going to have triangle, your running back sitting down wide open in the middle of the field. And then this circle route on the motion in that PAY drag is great, because then you could call the halfback misdirection and do the same motion. And I just showed in the replay, when you motion him to the right and snap him right when he gets to the edge of the line of scrimmage, he really seals the outside, and the little misdirection step sets up for a great gainer. If you like this video, if you like this formation, smash the like button. If we hit 150 likes, I'll release 3 to 4 more plays out of this formation. I already have them lab, fellas. All I need from you is a little interaction. Smash the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And enjoy the rest of your Madden season.